What was it like for you when you were a child? Did you celebrate Halloween? Did you go trick-or-treating? Find out what we used to do.
We are the Sassy Silver Sisters.
Okay. Who remembers back that far?
I remember.
It was a ways.
The only thing I remember is we'd already moved to Elk Run, and we would go to Woodbridge.
Yeah, because that was where the subdivision. Yeah.
Well, that's where we were originally when I was born, and we had moved to the farmette, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I just remember
And we didn't
going,
have any,
and we had
neighbors.
and I remember the old plastic masks and stuff, and we had pillowcases to carry our candy in.
Yep.
And I just remember all the houses. And then when
Yes.
you're little, it's like, it's a lot.
It's a lot of walking when
Just
you
remember
doing
that.
a
Yeah,
neighborhood.
but me and Rhonda, there was no little bags for us because we're in the subdivision, right? And back then, little kids could go all over the place. So me and Rhonda would get our pillowcases in whatever costume or whatever we had. Usually, like this comedian said, everybody was a hobo.
Yeah, that's true.
So we would go, we knew where we were going, right? We'd fill her up and we'd come back, dump it out, and go back out again.
Wow, y'all greedy.
Yeah.
That's
what we did.
It gets heavy.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, candy gets heavy.
No, but we only went so far. And
Well,
we'd
we
come
only went a
back and
couple
go back
of
out.
blocks.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
we
to
didn't
us, it was
stray,
a
but
lot.
so far.
But we had a lot of candy.
And Nicole does what I did, what Mom used to do. She used to let us eat for a day, and then she'd take it and put it in a big bowl and dole it out in our lunches.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And so I did that with my kids when they had a lot of candy. And then Nicole does that to her kids.
I
But the
complained
first
about
thing
it.
she does is she goes through all the candy and looks at it.
I complained about it. Mom goes, just let them eat it and it'll be gone.
It's true.
So that's what I did. Except it was up, like you didn't want them eating candy right before dinner.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it was up, but I let them eat it. So
Nicole
it would be
lets
gone.
the girls eat it. I
Yeah.
mean, she puts it in a big bowl and puts it on top of the refrigerator. She lets them like gorge. And then she puts it on top of the refrigerator and they can have some every day.
Yeah.
So did you dress up as a hobo? What did you do? Do you remember?
Probably a princess or something, because it was one of those. I just remember the plastic
but
things.
man, those plastic
to have
masks,
those.
and you'd breathe in them and sweat.
Yeah, it was probably one
Yeah.
of them. That's the
And you couldn't see.
that's the earliest one. And after that, I don't think we really did much trick or treating because
Did we trick or treat North Carolina, Mom? I don't remember trick or treating in North Carolina. I don't know.
I neither.
But we couldn't trick or treat where we lived in Elk Run because the houses were like too
Yeah.
far away. So, I think the school had stuff. We would go and dress up and have a fall festival, and you could dress up or something.
The first time we took the kids trick-or-treating, because, Leroy didn't grow up with it, and then he was on the fence about it, and then he decided it was okay. Yeah. We drove them, because, we
From
lived
house to house.
in Morrisville.
Yeah.
And we drove them to
Right.
people's houses that we knew.
Right. Well, I did that
And
with
let them
Taylor.
get out, and
I did that with Taylor early. We took her to the mall, and she was horrified.
Scared of everything.
Yes. So that was last year we did that. And then we ended up, we'd take her to people's houses we knew. And then after that, Cynthia started taking her to big subdivisions. And so they would go to these big subdivisions, and I quit taking my kid to trick-or-treating.
Nicole would take the girls when they were little, and they lived in the townhouse in Culpeper.
Right.
Just on their street.
Yeah.
When they were little itty-bitty.
Yeah, right.
That was enough.
Yeah.
Well, they
And,
stopped all the trick-or-treating half of the trick-or-treaters stopped when cruel people started putting
that's the
crack
thing.
in the candy.
When the people started being
razor
horrible.
blades in the apples.
Yeah.
And
That's what I remember.
so what I had to do for my kids, because it was scary, one family in our neighborhood, they put their sticker on their stuff.
So you know
where
it came from. That's a good
Uh-huh.
idea.
Which was very smart.
Right.
And, but what I used to do, you had to separate the candy. Anything that was open went in the trash.
Yeah.
And so
I
I
think people
did
do
that.
that now.
I did that 1 year or 2 years in a row. And I said, no, this doesn't seem right to me. If you got to worry about your kids getting poisoned or something, I'm not going to do this. So I started having little parties for the kids. Mm-hmm. And then Melanie, of course, decided she was left out. And she feels like, I said, you went trick-or-treating, but it was in the mall, to the stores.
Right.
And then we had people we knew.
Right.
And you just didn't get to go around the
Well, some
neighborhood.
of the churches, like
And that trunk or treat.
Okay, so in Culpeper, the businesses on the main street, they'll do it where you can take your
kid in. You have
your
to be in a
kids
costume.
to those stores. Some of the bigger churches would have trunk or treat.
Right.
And you can go around to all the different people that have something. So they have some safe zones.
Yeah.
I just remember...
Now, Nicole lives in a very family-oriented subdivision.
Yeah.
And everybody has kids there.
yeah, well, see, that was like us.
So she lets them trick-or-treat.
Right.
We didn't care who you were as long as you gave us candy.
Kids don't care.
No.
They just want candy.
And we were little, but that shows you the different time.
Right. Right.
You know, you used to be able to just go and do your
You
own
can send your
thing.
kids out when they were little
And
all
yeah.
by themselves.
Yeah, you, and nobody bothered you.
No.
We didn't trick or treat. We did a May Day thing.
Well, wasn't-
Ah.
Yeah, it's
Wouldn't
not
have
in
been
October.
Wouldn't have been a May
We
Day.
did a May Day thing. You took a gift. My mother used to make. Fun.
Yeah, but that's not in October.
No.
No.
This was in place of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gave it.
Now my
So you would go to whatever it is and you bring something.
You would go to a person's house.
Right.
You go to a person's house
And
and
you would drop them off
For May Day, back in the day.
And run, and they're supposed to catch you.
But
that's
an
funny.
old lady told me that Halloween represented to her something bad because now you got different views, but because it was people actually did, trick you or do something bad if you didn't get. It was more of a bum thing. It
Yeah.
started out as a bum thing where they would come around and they would ask for something, and if you didn't give it to them, they would do something to
Well,
your
trick or
property.
treat trick or treat means trick or treat. You're
Right,
gonna give me a
trick
trick,
or-
or
yeah,
am I
right.
going to give you a trick? Or am I going to give you a
Treat
trick?
or a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said, So I ended up looking it up, and yeah, that's kind of
Now,
how it got.
My kids, the school that they went to, the Christian school they went to, would have a harvest party.
Right.
And you could dress up, but you couldn't be anything evil.
Evil, nothing bad.
Nothing
Yeah.
bad. So, they kind of did a different theme on it. And they
Right.
had candy there. They
Right.
had games. They
Right.
had a good time.
Right.
And that's what they did mostly.
Right.
Because, we didn't live in an area really where you could trick-or-treat a
Right.
lot.
Okay, well,
Let us know what you all did for
Yeah.
Halloween in the day.
yeah, because the younger people, they don't miss anything because they don't know any different right now.
Right.
Because they do the trunk or treat and they do the parties and
Right.
stuff like that.
But if you're in a big subdivision with their families and stuff, people still do it.
Yeah.
Our oldest
Yeah.
does it. They
still do it.
even Taylor's taking Dorian over there.
Okay, I didn't know they still did
My
it.
granddaughters are so funny because, they're just under 2 years apart. And Lily's always been you know,
The princess.
Yes, she's the fashionista. She's
Yes.
she could match clothes at the age of 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
you
just
know,
misdress up.
yes. And then Maddie's
A
opposite.
scary something. What is she?
She likes to be something scary.
Yeah, that's
So
funny.
this year she's going to be some kind of monster. But last year I said, "What is she?" Because Nicole sends me pictures. She goes, "Can't you tell? She's roadkill."
Roadkill.
Oh
That's
my
a good
gosh,
one.
that's funny.
She had tracks on her.
Oh, did she really?
That's funny.
That was her idea?
That was probably
Or-
Maddie's idea.
Well, last year, our oldest grandson, he was one of those blow-up dinosaurs. It was hilarious.
Oh, really?
And they're big. I mean,
I know
big
they
thing.
are.
And he's going around, he's whapping people with his tail. You know,
Oh.
because it's blow-up, there's a fan in it, so it blows it up.
Oh.
And, yeah. It was,
Oh my goodness.
I saw videos. It was hilarious. It was cute.
Ay, ay, ay. It's funny to see what they are, especially when
I
they
love
can choose
seeing the
themselves.
costumes.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny what they want to be.
Now, me and my kids used to do the because we stopped. We did little parties,
Right.
and then we moved to a house. We didn't do the party no more, but we did the scary yard,
Right.
and it was a big deal because being artistic type, I get all into it.
Yeah.
And so my son, we did where he carried his head.
Oh, cute.
You build the shoulders up,
Right.
and you carry your own head.
Right.
Right.
And so he would stand back because he liked scaring people too. So he would stand back, and the people I used to babysit for brought their kids, right? And of course it's all spooky and scary. And she goes, "We got to go." And then she called and she said, "We had to go because somebody had an accident in their pants because my son scared him
Scared him
so bad."
That's funny.
And then the one year he leaned up against the tree and he was perfectly still while people would pass. That you could watch him. They would look
To see if it was real.
to see if he was moving. And we had somebody come by and took pictures.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So we had a blast doing that. And then we started doing it at Missy's.
Yeah.
And so then we really got into details. But the kids are adults now. They don't want to do that anymore.
That's right. Maybe they'll do
But that's
it.
okay.
Maybe your grandkids, when they have kids, will do it with their kids.
It's so much fun, though, I think, because I get the artistic
Yeah.
out of it.
Creativity.
Yeah, and then one kid come over. Oh, one of Missy's friends come over, and the son is a crack up, and he had us cracking up so bad. She would have a bonfire in the driveway, and then the haunted yard and the haunted porch.
Right.
So all the friends and everybody sitting around. It's the one I did the video of. Everybody sitting around a bonfire while we're watching people go in and be
Right.
scared and take off running. One kid dropped his candy and took off running.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty good.
So we had fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
always
doing
fun.
that.
It's all in fun.
Yes, it is.
So y'all enjoy your Halloween.
Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody.